On October 18, 2025, Jupiter, the great benefic and planet of wisdom, optimism, and expansion, will enter Cancer, its sign of exaltation. This transit marks a powerful turning point after years of Jupiter moving through Taurus and Gemini, where its energies were somewhat restrained and exploratory. In Cancer, Jupiter is at its highest dignity, promising a period of emotional growth, compassion, and a renewed sense of purpose for the collective. Exalted Jupiter has a natural tendency to provide blessings more easily, and its movement through Cancer signals an era where nurturing, kindness, and emotional connection become pathways to progress. This transit will continue in 3 phases until June 2027, with retrograde motions and returns to Gemini and Leo, but its overarching influence will be one of optimism and emotional realignment. It is essential to note that these interpretations are based on Sidereal or Vedic Astrology, which accounts for the approximately 24-degree difference with the tropical zodiac. Cancer is the 4th sign of the zodiac, ruled by the moon, representing home, emotions, nourishment, and maternal energy. When Jupiter, the planet of knowledge and higher wisdom, enters Cancer, these themes are expanded and illuminated. The combination of Jupiter's generosity and Cancer's emotional depth creates fertile ground for growth in areas such as education, spirituality, family life, and emotional healing. Many will feel a stronger desire to connect with loved ones, nurture others selflessly, or create a secure foundation, whether in their personal lives, careers, or communities. Just as a teacher shares knowledge without expectation of reward, Jupiter in Cancer inspires acts of kindness and wisdom sharing simply for the joy of uplifting others. With Jupiter now exalted, the fog of confusion that may have dominated recent years begins to lift, offering clearer visions of the future. People are more likely to trust their intuition and faith, and opportunities for growth may present themselves with less resistance. Exaltation also comes with a subtle warning. When blessings come too easily, complacency or laziness can set in. This is a time to stay receptive and humble, recognizing opportunities rather than taking them for granted. The 3 phases of this transit give us glimpses of its evolving energy. The first phase from October 18th to December 5th, 2025, offers an initial preview of Jupiter's exalted blessings. Jupiter's brief return to Gemini between December 2025 and June 2026 will encourage reassessment of ideas and connections before the 2nd and 3rd phases in Cancer bring deeper consolidation of growth. Retrograde periods during this journey, especially from November 11, 2025 to March 11, 2026, and again from December 13, 2026 to April 13, 2027, will ask us to pause and reflect on our belief systems, guiding principles, and emotional investments. Jupiter's aspects during this transit further enhance its significance. From Cancer, Jupiter casts its auspicious 5th, 7th, and 9th aspects onto Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces. These aspects will stimulate learning, meaningful partnerships, and spiritual or philosophical exploration. Educational pursuits, legal or ethical considerations, and long-distance travel for spiritual or intellectual growth may become more prominent themes. Jupiter's relationship with Cancer's nakshatras, Punarvasu, Pushya, and Ashlesha, adds nuanced layers to this transit. In Punarvasu, Jupiter restores stability after chaos. In Pushya, considered the most nurturing of nakshatras, Jupiter's energy overflows with selfless generosity. In Ashlesha, Jupiter challenges us to confront emotional insecurities and transform them into wisdom. The collective environment during this period will be shaped by Jupiter's exaltation interacting with other planetary transits. Saturn's retrograde in Pisces, Jupiter's 9th aspect on Pisces, and the eventual conjunction of Ketu and Jupiter in Cancer will create a potent energy dynamic between Cancer and Pisces. This suggests a time of emotional and spiritual breakthroughs, where old wounds may resurface for healing, and hidden talents or insights emerge. On a global scale, we could see advances in humanitarian efforts, education reform, and philosophies that emphasize empathy and cooperation. Businesses such as food, hospitality, education, counseling, and caregiving may thrive under Jupiter's expansive blessings. On a personal level, Jupiter in Cancer invites individuals to align with their hearts. It is a call to create emotional security and to invest in meaningful, nurturing relationships. Family life may take focus, and many could find themselves drawn to activities such as home improvements, family gatherings, or supporting loved ones. Spiritual growth is also emphasized. Meditation, prayer, or philosophical study can feel especially rewarding now. For some, a mentor or guide may enter their life, offering wisdom that reshapes their outlook. For others, this transit could inspire them to take on the role of teacher or mentor, sharing their own knowledge selflessly. Exalted Jupiter can also amplify emotional sensitivity. Under its influence in Cancer, people may become more protective of their loved ones or more cautious about perceived threats. Jupiter's passage through Ashleisha Nakshatra, in particular, may bring moments of emotional insecurity or reveal hidden fears. Navigating these feelings with awareness and compassion will be key to fully benefiting from this transit's blessings. Overall, Jupiter's exaltation in Cancer between 2025 and 2027 offers a window of opportunity for both personal and collective renewal. It reminds us that emotional intelligence and kindness are powerful tools for growth. Jupiter is the planet of knowledge and wisdom. Wherever it transits, by house or over any planet, it brings awareness and understanding related to that area. For example, if Jupiter transits over the Moon, it can deepen your emotional intelligence and inner peace. Over Venus, it may bring insights into relationships and creativity. In the 10th house, it can give you clarity about career and life direction. Wherever Jupiter goes, it brings growth in knowledge and wisdom. To accurately assess the impact of these transits, it is crucial to consider your ascendant and moon signs. The ascendant sign offers insights into the timing of life events, while the moon sign reveals how you will emotionally respond to these changes. Take into account the position of your current Maha-Dasha lord in your birth chart, as it can shed light on how these transits will influence the recurring themes of your current Dasha period. This transit may manifest differently for each individual, and how they navigate this transit will depend on their personal charts. A more precise understanding of the impact of this transit can be gained by examining Jupiter's Ashtaka score in Cancer. Keep in mind that the effects of this transit are contingent on Jupiter's interaction with the planets in individual birth charts. It's also worth noting that individuals currently experiencing the influence of Jupiter Dasha or Jupiter return may feel the effects of this transit more intensely. To understand how this transit may affect you based on your zodiac sign and the houses it transits, let's delve into those specifics. For Aries, Jupiter's exalted transit in Cancer through your 4th house from October 2025 marks a deeply emotional and stabilizing chapter in your life. As the ruler of your 9th house of higher wisdom and fortune, as well as your 12th house of spiritual liberation and foreign connections, Jupiter brings a blend of expansive blessings and karmic completions into the most personal sector of your chart. The 4th house governs home, mother, inner peace, domestic life, real estate, and emotional security. When the planet of wisdom and abundance moves through this sensitive area, it infuses your personal world with growth, nurturing, and opportunities to find a more meaningful connection to your roots and inner self. Jupiter in the 4th can signify purchasing or investing in a new property, expanding your current residence, or even undertaking major renovations that transform your living environment. For some Aries individuals, this could mean acquiring a larger or more luxurious home that better aligns with your ambitions and lifestyle. Because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, the outcomes of such property-related efforts are likely to be favorable, provided you act with wisdom and long-term planning. Even if you are not buying property, you may still feel a strong pull toward beautifying or reorganizing your living space to create a sanctuary that supports your emotional well-being. This is also a period when your mother or maternal figures will take focus in your life. Your bond with your mother can grow stronger, and she may become an important source of guidance, support, or even spiritual inspiration. In some cases, you may find that your mother assumes the role of a teacher or guru, offering wisdom that reshapes your outlook on life. If there have been tensions or unresolved matters with her, Jupiter's benevolent energy can help heal old wounds and restore harmony. For those whose mothers are elderly or dealing with health matters, this transit may prompt you to devote more time and care to their well-being. Peace of mind and emotional stability are key gifts of Jupiter's movement through the 4th house. After previous periods of outer world pursuits and challenges, this is a time to return to your inner sanctuary. You may feel inspired to bring more spiritual or religious practices into your home, perhaps by creating a sacred space, hosting religious gatherings, or studying scriptures. Such activities not only deepen your connection to your beliefs but also fill your home with positive energy and blessings. Jupiter's influence suggests that these practices can restore your emotional equilibrium and help you feel more centered in your life's purpose. Because Jupiter also rules your 12th house, this transit may act as a bridge between your spiritual life and your domestic world. Some Aries individuals may be drawn to travel back to their homeland after time abroad, while others may host relatives or friends from distant places. For a few, this period may even spark the desire to relocate to a foreign land permanently or temporarily, especially if doing so brings greater peace and security for you or your family. Gains from homeland or from maternal relatives are also possible, perhaps in the form of financial support, property inheritance, or emotional encouragement. Home-based businesses are strongly supported under this influence. If you have been considering starting a venture, particularly one tied to education, counseling, finance, or spirituality, this is an excellent time to launch it. The fourth house represents foundations, and Jupiter's presence here ensures that endeavors begun now are built on solid ground. You may find that working from home not only reduces stress but also allows you to align your career more closely with your values and family priorities. With Jupiter exalted in Cancer, its fifth aspect falls on Scorpio, influencing your eighth house of transformation and hidden matters. This inspires deep research, spiritual learning, and healing through understanding life's mysteries. Its seventh aspect on Capricorn, your 10th house, encourages sharing your knowledge through career or leadership roles, potentially bringing opportunities for professional growth. The ninth aspect on Pisces, your 12th house, expands spiritual pursuits, foreign connections, and hidden wisdom. This is a period to embrace inner growth, explore global perspectives, and trust divine timing. Higher learning and teaching may become key themes that reshape your worldview and career. The exaltation of Jupiter in Cancer can also encourage acts of generosity and hospitality. You may feel inspired to open your home to others, hosting gatherings, religious events, or even offering shelter to someone in need. Such acts will not only strengthen your relationships, but also invite blessings into your life. Jupiter's influence ensures that kindness and sharing during this period create positive karmic rewards in the long term. Even with Jupiter's benefic energy, there can be moments of emotional overwhelm. The fourth house governs your innermost feelings, and Jupiter's expansive energy may amplify emotions, both positive and challenging. Be mindful of not overextending yourself financially in property matters or emotionally in family disputes. Jupiter's exaltation usually ensures that matters resolve well, but careful planning and patience will help you avoid unnecessary stress. As Jupiter rules your 12th house, there may be expenses related to property, travel, or spiritual pursuits. Manage your finances prudently, as the desire to expand your home or invest in real estate could lead to overspending if not checked. This transit can also bring closure to long-standing domestic or emotional matters. Just as the 12th house energy releases what no longer serves you, Jupiter in the 4th may help you resolve family disputes, sell or settle old property issues, or finally find a living situation that feels aligned with your needs. Such closures are part of a larger process preparing you for the next Jupiter transit, when it enters your 5th house and shifts your focus toward creativity, romance, and self-expression. Your emotional foundation will be reshaped during this time, making you more resilient and compassionate. As you deepen your connection with your roots and loved ones, you may discover new insights about your life's direction. This period is not only about material gains like property, but also about the inner security and wisdom that will carry you forward. By nurturing your home, caring for your mother or maternal figures, and cultivating peace of mind, you set the stage for future success and happiness. Overall, Jupiter's transit in Cancer through your 4th house is a deeply nurturing and transformative period for Aries individuals. It is a time to strengthen your family bonds, create a harmonious living environment, and embrace the emotional and spiritual growth that comes from turning inward. Property-related gains, home-based ventures, and maternal blessings are highly favored. While emotional intensity and financial considerations require careful handling, the overarching theme is one of expansion, healing, and preparation for new opportunities ahead. For Taurus, Jupiter, the planet of wisdom, blessings, and expansion, rules your 8th house of transformation, hidden knowledge, joint finances, and sudden events, as well as your 11th house of gains, ambitions, and large networks. When Jupiter becomes exalted in Cancer and enters your 3rd house of communication, effort, siblings, and short-distance travel, it sets the stage for a period of exploration, learning, and courageous action. This transit activates your curiosity and drives you to invest in your own skills and talents. The 3rd house is where ideas are turned into action, and with Jupiter's expansive energy here, your ability to communicate, share knowledge, and build meaningful connections will grow tremendously. One of the most notable effects of this transit will be a heightened interest in gathering information and expanding your knowledge base. Taurus individuals may feel a powerful urge to learn new subjects, explore intellectual pursuits, or immerse themselves in skills that can later be used professionally or creatively. This is an excellent time to study, enroll in courses, or take up hobbies that have always fascinated you. Jupiter's influence will not only make learning easier but will also give you the wisdom to share that knowledge with others. Many Taurians may find themselves stepping into roles as advisors, counselors, or informal teachers, as others begin to see you as a source of guidance and wisdom. Jupiter's exaltation in the 3rd house also stimulates your entrepreneurial spirit. The 11th house rulership of Jupiter connects your ambitions and social networks with your efforts and skills, suggesting that this period can bring opportunities to start or expand a business venture. The kind of work favored under this influence is often knowledge-oriented. Consulting, education, writing, content creation, or advisory services are particularly highlighted. You may also work on projects related to publishing or counseling, as the 8th house connection adds a layer of depth and transformation to your efforts. While these opportunities can be rewarding, Jupiter also advises careful planning, especially regarding finances. Investments should be made wisely, as the 8th house energy can sometimes bring sudden changes or unexpected shifts. Travel will be another strong theme of this transit. The 3rd house governs short journeys, but Jupiter's expansive nature often takes things further, leading to more distant or frequent travel than usual. These trips could be for business, education, or even spiritual purposes, as Jupiter's influence leans toward journeys that are meaningful rather than superficial. Many Taurus individuals may find themselves exploring places far from their homeland or venturing into areas they have never considered before. This movement away from home also indicates a shift in focus. While home life remains important, your attention will now be directed outward, toward new horizons and opportunities. Relationships with younger siblings or close relatives can improve significantly under this transit. The 3rd house represents siblings, and Jupiter's benefic energy here brings harmony, mutual support, and even collaborative ventures. You may work together on projects, share resources, or simply enjoy a renewed closeness. If there have been misunderstandings in the past, this is a favorable time to heal and build stronger bonds. In some cases, siblings may play a supportive role in your business or personal ambitions, acting as a source of encouragement or guidance. Your communication style will undergo a positive transformation. Jupiter in Cancer will encourage you to express yourself with warmth, wisdom, and sincerity. Others will notice your ability to speak from the heart, and your words may carry more weight than before. This makes it an excellent time for writers, speakers, teachers, and those in media or marketing. Your courage and willpower will also grow stronger, helping you face challenges with determination and optimism. The 3rd house represents your personal initiative, and Jupiter here ensures that consistent effort will bring results, even if progress feels gradual at times. The 8th house rulership of Jupiter adds an element of depth and transformation to this transit. You may uncover hidden talents, gain insights into subjects that were once mysterious, or explore areas such as metaphysics, psychology, or healing. Financially, this influence can bring gains through joint ventures, shared resources, or investments, but it also calls for prudence. Avoid speculative risks or hasty financial decisions, as the 8th house energy can sometimes create fluctuations. Proper planning and advice from trusted sources will help you make the most of opportunities without unnecessary losses. Jupiter's transit through Cancer's nakshatras, Punarvasu, Pushya, and Ashlesha, will further shape your experience. During Punarvasu, you may revisit old ideas or projects, bringing fresh energy to things you had set aside. Pushya, the most auspicious nakshatra, will bring a particularly supportive phase where your efforts in communication, learning, or business gain traction and recognition. In Ashlesha, Jupiter will encourage you to dig deeper into your motivations and confront emotional insecurities. This period may feel intense but will ultimately lead to growth and maturity. In professional matters, this transit will favor those in consulting, writing, communication, media, counseling, and knowledge-sharing professions. You may feel called to mentor others or to create something that educates and uplifts your audience. Opportunities could also arise through your social networks or contacts, as Jupiter's rulership of the 11th house connects your efforts to larger communities. Collaborative projects or partnerships may bring significant rewards if handled with transparency and mutual respect. From Cancer, Jupiter's 5th aspect on Scorpio activates your 7th house, enriching relationships and partnerships with wisdom and understanding. This can deepen romantic bonds or attract meaningful collaborations. Its 7th aspect on Capricorn, your 9th house, inspires sharing philosophical or spiritual insights, possibly through teaching, writing, or mentoring. The 9th aspect on Pisces, your 11th house, expands your network and long-term aspirations, bringing supportive friends or mentors. Opportunities for spiritual communities or humanitarian efforts may emerge. This period calls you to nurture both personal and collective connections, balancing practical ambitions with higher ideals that bring a sense of purpose and growth. Health-wise, Jupiter's exaltation provides protection, but you should remain mindful of overindulgence or stress caused by excessive travel or workload. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and mindful practices will help you maintain energy and focus. Ultimately, Jupiter's transit in Cancer for Taurus individuals is a period of effort, expansion, and purposeful action. It encourages you to step outside your comfort zone, pursue knowledge, and turn your skills into something meaningful. Your relationships with siblings and your social circle can flourish, and your courage and determination will be strengthened. By embracing opportunities for learning, travel, and business ventures, while remaining financially cautious, you can transform this period into a time of significant progress. For Gemini, Jupiter, the planet of wisdom, prosperity, and expansion, rules your 7th house of partnerships, marriage, and public life, as well as your 10th house of career, reputation, and authority. When Jupiter becomes exalted in Cancer and moves into your 2nd house of family, values, wealth, and speech, its benefic influence is powerfully expressed. This transit signals a major shift of focus toward financial security, family responsibilities, and long-term planning. The 2nd house represents not only money and possessions but also the legacy you build through family traditions and values. With Jupiter in exaltation here, its energy supports the growth of both material and emotional resources, promising opportunities to create lasting stability and harmony in your personal life. One of the most significant themes of this transit is financial expansion. Jupiter's placement in the 2nd house often indicates increased earnings, greater savings potential, or new opportunities to grow your wealth. This could come through your own efforts, your partner's career, or even your family. Investments made now, particularly in areas connected to education, consulting, or long-term security, can bring steady gains if approached with wisdom. While the potential for financial growth is strong, Jupiter's expansive energy can sometimes encourage overspending or misplaced optimism, so it is important to adopt practical strategies for saving and budgeting. Learning new financial skills or exploring different methods of managing your resources will be particularly beneficial under this influence. Family life will also take focus during this transit. Jupiter's exaltation brings warmth, harmony, and blessings to the household, encouraging reconciliation, unity, and mutual support. For some Gemini individuals, this may manifest as a family expansion through marriage or the birth of a child, strengthening emotional bonds and creating a sense of renewed purpose. Relationships with elders or extended relatives may improve, and their guidance or blessings could play a significant role in your decisions. If there have been misunderstandings or tensions within the family, this is an auspicious period for healing and rebuilding trust. You may also feel a stronger connection to your family's cultural or spiritual traditions, perhaps engaging more deeply in ancestral practices or rituals. Because Jupiter rules your 7th house, partnerships will play a direct role in the unfolding of this transit's blessings. A spouse or business partner may experience their own growth or success, which positively affects your shared resources. For those who are single, Jupiter's position could bring a partner whose values align with yours, particularly in areas like financial planning, family, or spirituality. The influence of Jupiter as 10th Lord also suggests that your career and public reputation may support your financial goals. Opportunities to grow professionally, especially in fields related to education, teaching, consulting, finance, or communication, can contribute to your wealth during this time. The 2nd house also governs speech and communication, and Jupiter's exalted presence here gives your words extra power and influence. You may find that your ability to express ideas with wisdom and kindness draws respect from others. Whether in personal conversations, professional negotiations, or public speaking, your speech can become a source of income or success. Writers, teachers, counselors, and those in advisory roles will especially benefit, as their words can now inspire, heal, and guide. Jupiter's benevolent energy encourages you to speak truthfully and use your voice for constructive purposes, as dishonesty or careless words can backfire despite Jupiter's blessings. Spiritual and religious activities within the family may become more pronounced under this transit. Jupiter's presence in Cancer, a sign connected with emotional nurturing and tradition, can inspire you to participate in religious ceremonies, prayers, or community rituals. Family gatherings may take on a more spiritual tone, or you may feel drawn to share philosophical or moral teachings with younger family members. Jupiter's expansive energy can make you somewhat preachy at times, but your intentions will likely stem from a genuine desire to guide and protect your loved ones. The exaltation of Jupiter in the 2nd house can also bring opportunities to reconnect with your roots or benefit from your family lineage. Ancestral property, inheritance, or family businesses may play a role in your financial life now. You may discover new pride in your heritage or take steps to preserve family traditions for future generations. This period can help you understand the deeper values that have shaped your identity and encourage you to align your goals with those principles. From another perspective, Jupiter's rulership of your 10th house ties this transit directly to your public image and professional path. The effort you have put into your career may now begin to bear fruit, bringing recognition or rewards that improve your financial stability. The combination of 7th and 10th house rulership suggests that collaborations, partnerships, or public engagements can be particularly profitable. Business ventures started in cooperation with trusted partners or family members are favored, especially those related to education, counseling, or finance. Jupiter's exalted position in Cancer casts its 5th aspect on Scorpio, your 6th house, urging you to learn about health, discipline, and service. It's an excellent time for developing new skills that improve daily routines or work efficiency. The 7th aspect on Capricorn, your 8th house, encourages sharing knowledge about transformation, finances, or healing, potentially deepening bonds with partners or clients. Its 9th aspect on Pisces, your 10th house, expands career opportunities tied to wisdom sharing or spiritual pursuits. Recognition may come through teaching or guiding others. This is a period to integrate practical service with profound insights for professional advancement. Health and well-being will also be positively influenced by this transit. The 2nd house is connected with the face, mouth, and speech, so you may feel inspired to adopt healthier dietary habits or pay closer attention to your physical well-being. Jupiter's exalted presence acts as a protective influence, reducing stress and offering emotional stability, which in turn supports your overall health. One subtle yet important aspect of this transit is the opportunity to refine your values. Jupiter in the 2nd house does not only expand wealth but also deepens your understanding of what truly matters. As your resources grow, you may begin to consider how to use them responsibly, whether through charitable giving, investing in meaningful causes, or supporting your family and community. This is an excellent time to align your financial goals with your moral and ethical values, ensuring that the prosperity you build contributes positively to the world around you. Overall, Jupiter's exalted transit in Cancer for Gemini individuals represents a period of financial growth, family blessings, and value-driven living. It redirects your attention from external pursuits to the foundations of security and legacy. By saving wisely, strengthening family bonds, and using your speech and knowledge constructively, you can make this transit a period of lasting prosperity and harmony. For Cancer, Jupiter's exalted transit in your 1st house is one of the most transformative and inspiring periods of recent years. From October 2025 through much of 2027, Jupiter, the planet of wisdom, blessings, and expansion, will move through Cancer, the sign of its exaltation. As ruler of your 6th house of service, health, and daily routines, as well as your 9th house of Dharma, higher learning, and divine grace, Jupiter now directs its expansive energy onto your very identity and sense of self. This is not a subtle influence. It can feel as if the universe is reorienting your compass, inviting you to focus on who you truly are and why you are here. One of the defining themes of this transit is self-discovery. The 1st house represents your personality, physical body, and overall life direction, and Jupiter's presence here often sparks a desire to understand your higher purpose. You may feel a strong pull towards spiritual inquiry, philosophy, or even mentorship with a guru figure who appears at just the right time to illuminate your path. The distractions and preoccupations of other areas of life fade into the background, making room for a profound inward journey. This period can bring renewed optimism and a sense of meaning that had perhaps been lacking in previous months or years. As Jupiter expands your self-awareness, it also expands your outer opportunities. You are likely to feel more confident, more adventurous, and more willing to embrace new beginnings. This could manifest as a complete change in life direction, starting a new career, relocating, or embracing an entirely different worldview. Because Jupiter is the natural significator of travel and learning, journeys to distant places or participation in educational programs can be especially fruitful now. These experiences are not just about external knowledge. They can be catalysts for inner growth and help you define the next stage of your life path. Jupiter in your sign aspects Scorpio, your 5th house, with its 5th aspect, fueling creativity, romance, and intellectual curiosity. You may be drawn to explore new hobbies or academic pursuits. Its 7th aspect on Capricorn, your 7th house, enriches relationships and partnerships, fostering mutual understanding and shared learning. The 9th aspect on Pisces, your 9th house, brings higher education, spiritual journeys, and philosophical exploration into focus. Travel for learning or teaching is likely. This is a time to expand both personal and spiritual horizons while strengthening bonds, using your natural wisdom to inspire and guide those closest to you. This transit can also bring expansion in family matters or even the possibility of childbirth. For those seeking to grow their family, the supportive aspects to the 5th house can create opportunities for children or joyful experiences with existing children. Even if you are not focused on family, your sense of creativity and joy can surge, inspiring you to pursue hobbies, artistic projects, or intellectual ventures that feed your soul. On a more practical level, Jupiter ruling your 6th house and transiting your 1st house suggests a need for mindfulness regarding your health and daily routines. The 6th house governs illness and work-related stress, and while Jupiter's exaltation generally protects you, its expansive nature can sometimes manifest physically through weight gain or indulgence in food. Pay close attention to your diet, exercise, and overall lifestyle to avoid issues related to fat accumulation or sluggishness. This is also a time when conflicts or disputes, another 6th house theme, could surface, particularly if you are stepping into leadership roles or asserting your identity in new ways. Jupiter's grace means these conflicts are likely to be resolved positively if you approach them with patience and wisdom. Jupiter in your 1st house will also influence your public image. People will notice a shift in your demeanor. You may be perceived as wiser, more compassionate, or more authoritative. You might find yourself naturally stepping into roles where your guidance and knowledge are valued, whether in your career, community, or personal circles. Because Jupiter rules your 9th house of Dharma and blessings, these opportunities are not random. They are aligned with your higher purpose and can bring long-term benefits. Financially, this transit may indirectly open doors for prosperity, particularly if you are engaged in work related to teaching, counseling, law, spirituality, or service. While the focus is not directly on material gains, Jupiter's influence often brings opportunities for growth when you are aligned with your principles and using your talents for the greater good. Be open to collaborations or ventures that resonate with your values, as these can lay the groundwork for long-term stability. This is also a period for spiritual and philosophical awakening. Many Cancerians under this transit feel compelled to explore religious or esoteric traditions more deeply. You may take pilgrimages, attend workshops, or dedicate more time to meditation or prayer. Encounters with teachers, mentors, or spiritual communities can profoundly shape your worldview and give you the tools to navigate future challenges with grace. Emotionally, Jupiter in your sign will help you heal and release past insecurities. Cancer is a deeply sensitive and nurturing sign, and with Jupiter's blessing, you may feel more self-accepting and willing to extend compassion to yourself and others. This healing energy can repair strained relationships, particularly within your family or close circle, as you approach old wounds with greater understanding. Because Jupiter represents growth, it is important to remember that not all expansion feels comfortable in the moment. You may outgrow certain situations, friendships, or professional paths that no longer align with your evolving self. This process of shedding can initially feel unsettling, but it ultimately clears space for more authentic opportunities. Trust that Jupiter's exalted position ensures these changes will serve your highest good. By the time Jupiter completes its transit through Cancer, you may look back and realize that your life path, career trajectory, or sense of identity has been completely reshaped for the better. What once felt confusing or stagnant will now seem purposeful and clear. The relationships, skills, and wisdom you cultivate during this time will form the foundation for the next chapter of your life. Overall, Jupiter's exalted passage through your 1st house is an awakening transit, one that centers your attention on your true self, your higher calling, and your emotional and spiritual well-being. It offers opportunities for meaningful travel, learning, and relationships while encouraging you to refine your health habits and daily routines. A guru or mentor may appear to guide you, and by embracing this guidance with humility and openness, you can unlock profound growth. For Leo, Jupiter's exalted transit in Cancer through the 12th house is a period of closure, inner growth, and preparation for a new cycle that will begin when Jupiter enters your 1st house in the following phase. The 12th house is not about worldly recognition or visible success. It is the house of release, spirituality, foreign lands, subconscious mind, expenses, and liberation. When a great benefic like Jupiter moves here, it helps you clear karmic debts, close unfinished chapters, and align more deeply with your inner truth. Because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, much of what happens during this time will ultimately guide you toward greater peace and evolution, even if the journey feels uncertain or detached from material pursuits. This transit operates like a closure time. Throughout Jupiter's journey in your earlier houses, certain promises may have been left incomplete, delayed, or pending. Now, in the 12th house, those matters reach their conclusion. Some long-awaited results may finally materialize, while others may fall away, revealing that they were never meant to be part of your long-term path. This process is not a loss but a necessary release, ensuring that when Jupiter enters Leo in its next cycle, you are free of baggage and ready to begin a new chapter of expansion and visibility. A major highlight of this transit is its spiritual dimension. The 12th house naturally resonates with Jupiter's wisdom, as both are connected with higher truths, faith, and the dissolution of ego. You may feel a powerful pull toward meditation, spiritual study, or mystical practices. Encounters with spiritual teachers or time spent in retreats and ashrams can prove transformative. For many Leo individuals, this can be the beginning of a deeper inner awakening, where the pursuit of external recognition is replaced by a yearning for inner fulfillment. Dreams and intuitive insights may become stronger, guiding you in subtle but significant ways. Foreign lands are another major theme. Many Leo individuals may travel abroad during this transit, whether for education, career opportunities, or spiritual pilgrimages. Some may even relocate permanently or temporarily, finding prosperity or wisdom in foreign places. Because Jupiter rules your 5th house of education and your 8th house of transformation, these journeys are likely to be tied to knowledge, learning, or deeply transformative experiences. A trip that begins as a professional or academic opportunity may eventually reshape your worldview and spiritual outlook. Health and expenses will require careful attention during this period. The 12th house rules hospitals, rest, and recovery, and with Jupiter expanding whatever it touches, there could be increased spending on health-related matters. It is important to maintain good lifestyle habits and avoid neglecting medical advice, particularly in matters linked with chronic conditions or hidden ailments. Since Jupiter is also the 8th house ruler for Leo, sudden events, accidents, or health fluctuations may arise, though Jupiter's exaltation generally ensures that difficulties come with lessons and eventual benefits. Guarding against reckless behavior, especially during travel, will help minimize risks. On the financial front, this transit can increase expenses, especially on spiritual activities, travel, property abroad, or helping others. While some of these outflows may feel heavy, many will be investments in your long-term growth, whether spiritual or practical. Learning to manage expenses wisely will prevent financial strain. At the same time, Jupiter's position can also bring gains from foreign connections, hidden sources, or behind-the-scenes activities. For those working in fields connected to spirituality, research, counseling, or global networks, this can be a fruitful time professionally. The rewards may not be immediate or visible. They accumulate quietly and reveal themselves later. From Cancer, Jupiter's 5th aspect falls on Scorpio, your 4th house, inspiring you to learn more about emotional security, family, and real estate matters. The 7th aspect on Capricorn, your 6th house, encourages collaboration and knowledge sharing at work or in service roles, helping you resolve conflicts with wisdom. Its 9th aspect on Pisces, your 8th house, deepens your interest in mysticism, shared resources, and life's hidden truths. Spiritual or psychological breakthroughs are possible. This period calls for balancing private reflection with practical responsibilities. Growth comes through emotional healing, meaningful service, and transformative learning experiences that broaden your world. Creatively and intellectually, you may feel inspired to work in seclusion or devote time to research, writing, or artistic pursuits away from public attention. Jupiter ruling your 5th house means creativity and intelligence can flow inward, helping you produce meaningful work behind the scenes. Whether in spiritual writing, academic study, or artistic expression, this is a time to refine your talents quietly before presenting them to the world when Jupiter moves into Leo. The 12th house is also linked with subconscious fears and self-undoing patterns. With Jupiter here, there may be opportunities to confront hidden anxieties or self-sabotaging tendencies. Therapy, counseling, or spiritual practices can help you release these burdens. By addressing these patterns, you prepare yourself for a more confident and liberated life ahead. Another significant influence of this transit is Jupiter's rulership of the 8th house of transformation. This combination amplifies mystical experiences, interest in occult sciences, or research into hidden matters. Some Leo individuals may develop a fascination for astrology, tantra, psychology, or other subjects that unravel life's deeper mysteries. Mystical experiences or vivid dreams may become more frequent, offering insights into your karmic path. At the same time, you must exercise caution against sudden upheavals. The 12th and 8th house energies together can sometimes create abrupt changes that feel unsettling: loss of a job, end of a relationship, or unexpected shifts in health or finances. But with Jupiter exalted, these changes often remove what no longer serves your soul's growth and clear the way for a more meaningful direction. Acceptance and trust in the larger plan are crucial during this phase. By the end of this transit, many Leo individuals will feel transformed. You may find that your material attachments have loosened, your faith has deepened, and your understanding of life's purpose has matured. What you release during this time creates the space for a powerful new beginning when Jupiter enters your first house. Then, the growth you cultivated internally will be ready to shine outwardly in the form of new opportunities, recognition, and personal expansion. Overall, Jupiter's exalted journey through your 12th house is less about visible success and more about inner realignment. It is a time of spiritual growth, foreign travel, hidden gains, and karmic closure. It teaches you the importance of letting go, trusting the unseen, and preparing for renewal. While expenses, health matters, and sudden events may require attention, the larger purpose of this transit is to bring you closer to your higher self. If embraced with awareness and discipline, it can become one of the most liberating and enlightening phases of your life. For Virgo, Jupiter's transit into exalted Cancer and your 11th house is set to be a highly rewarding and expansive period, especially in matters of gains, ambitions, and social connections. Jupiter rules your 4th house of home, emotional security, and inner peace, as well as your 7th house of partnerships, marriage, and business alliances. When this benefic planet moves into your 11th house of income, fulfillment of desires, and large networks, the energy is powerfully directed toward making tangible progress in your financial and social life. Jupiter in the 11th house has a natural ability to magnify your achievements and bring rewards for past efforts. You may find yourself stepping into circles of influence or receiving recognition for your contributions, and the people you meet now can play significant roles in helping you manifest your long-term goals. This is a time when income streams can expand significantly. For those involved in business, entrepreneurship, or self-employment, Jupiter here can bring outstanding opportunities for growth. As the 11th house is closely tied to entrepreneurial ventures, your ability to leverage knowledge, resources, and networks will be critical to maximizing gains. If you are working in a corporate setting or a multinational company, Jupiter's blessings could translate into promotions, bonuses, or new positions with greater responsibility. Jupiter's exaltation in Cancer aspects Scorpio, your 3rd house, with its 5th aspect, inspiring curiosity, communication, and skill development. Writing, teaching, or public speaking may become areas of growth. The 7th aspect on Capricorn, your 5th house, enhances creativity, romance, and intellectual pursuits, encouraging you to share your insights with loved ones. Its 9th aspect on Pisces, your 7th house, expands partnerships, bringing wise mentors or spiritually aligned partners into your life. Collaborative efforts or counseling relationships may flourish. This is a time to broaden your horizons through learning, creative expression, and meaningful connections that align with your higher purpose. Your social circles and networks will likely expand during this time. You may become more active in professional organizations, community groups, or online communities that align with your interests or goals. The people you meet now are not just casual acquaintances. They may become collaborators, mentors, or clients who help you advance. Because Jupiter also represents wisdom, ethics, and higher knowledge, you may feel compelled to share your insights or expertise with your community, whether through teaching, mentoring, or spiritual guidance. Your reputation as someone knowledgeable or trustworthy could attract opportunities and admiration. The 11th house is also connected to your hopes and dreams. Under Jupiter's influence, you may feel inspired to dream bigger than ever before. Your ambitions could stretch beyond your current environment, prompting you to explore new fields or relocate to places where your potential can be fully realized. Relocation or a change in residence is also supported by the fact that the 11th house is the 8th from your 4th house, symbolizing transformation of home and domestic life. You may move for work, business opportunities, or simply to find a place that better suits your evolving aspirations. This relocation could be the key to unlocking new growth and prosperity. Promotions and recognition are also strongly indicated. If you have been putting in consistent effort at work, this is the time when your dedication could be rewarded with raises, bonuses, or accolades. Jupiter's benefic aspect on your 3rd house of effort and 9th house of fortune suggests that additional learning or skill development can amplify these opportunities. Pursuing advanced education, certifications, or professional training could bring long-term rewards. It is also a period when you might feel inspired to serve others through your knowledge, spirituality, or philosophy, whether that means offering mentorship at work, volunteering, or sharing insights in your community. Financially, this transit is among the most supportive for Virgo individuals. Gains can come from multiple channels, investments, side businesses, or even inheritance-like windfalls facilitated through partnerships. But Jupiter's expansive nature also comes with a caution. It can encourage overconfidence or overspending. Managing your income wisely and planning for the future will ensure that the blessings you receive now have a lasting impact. Investments in real estate, large organizations, or global ventures can be profitable, especially if done thoughtfully and with expert guidance. Relationships and partnerships will also play a major role. Because Jupiter rules your 7th house, there is a strong link between your personal and professional partnerships and your gains. Your spouse or partner may receive recognition or financial benefits that improve your shared resources. At the same time, Jupiter's expansive energy can increase your expectations of others. You may find that you are hoping for more support or validation from partners, friends, or colleagues, which could create strain if expectations are unrealistic. This is a good time to practice gratitude and open communication, ensuring that your relationships remain balanced and mutually beneficial. The 11th house also has a karmic dimension connected to rewards for past deeds. Projects or efforts that seemed stalled in previous years may suddenly find traction, bringing results that feel long overdue. Similarly, relationships with elder siblings or longtime friends can improve, bringing emotional or financial support. If there have been tensions with siblings or within your wider community, Jupiter's grace can help heal rifts and restore harmony. Another important aspect of this transit is its spiritual undertone. Jupiter in Cancer carries a nurturing, compassionate energy. Even while you are focused on material and professional gains, you may feel a growing desire to align your ambitions with higher principles or ethical values. You might become more aware of how your success can be used to help others, whether by mentoring, charitable contributions, or using your influence to create positive change. This alignment between material progress and spiritual values can make your gains feel more meaningful and fulfilling. As Jupiter aspects your 5th house during this transit, creative pursuits and intellectual exploration can also flourish. If you are involved in creative or educational fields, this is an excellent time to showcase your talents or expand your offerings. Teaching, counseling, or working in areas connected to spirituality or philosophy can bring recognition and financial rewards. Your communication skills may become a key asset, helping you influence others or inspire your team to achieve collective goals. By the end of this transit, you will likely look back on this period as a time when many of your dreams began to materialize. Whether through financial gains, career advancements, or the support of powerful allies, Jupiter's journey through your 11th house prepares you for long-term stability and success. The true gift of this transit is not only material, it is the sense of community, purpose, and alignment with your values that accompanies your achievements. For Libra, Jupiter's exalted transit through Cancer and your 10th house marks a defining period for career growth, recognition, and professional authority. As the ruler of your 3rd house of communication, skills, and initiative and your 6th house of work, service, and daily responsibilities, Jupiter entering the 10th house brings a strong spotlight to your public image and ambitions. The 10th house is the most visible part of your chart, representing your career path, status, and the legacy you build through your work. With Jupiter in this powerful position, you are stepping into a phase where your efforts can finally bear visible fruits, and your reputation can rise significantly. This is a transit of expansion in professional life, but it also carries lessons about integrity, responsibility, and using your influence wisely. During this period, opportunities for advancement or recognition are likely to appear. You may be entrusted with greater responsibilities, leadership roles, or projects that test and showcase your skills. If you have been working hard in your field, expect acknowledgement from superiors, colleagues, or even the wider community. Jupiter's benefic influence can also bring financial rewards through your profession, making this a favorable time for bonuses, raises, or salary negotiations. Those seeking government-related roles or contracts may find doors opening more easily, as Jupiter's placement supports benefits through authority figures, government institutions, or even your father's connections. The planet's expansive nature ensures that your professional life doesn't just grow in volume, it grows in quality, offering opportunities that align more closely with your higher calling. This transit also strengthens your credibility and wisdom in the eyes of others. Colleagues or subordinates may begin to see you as a guide or mentor, someone whose knowledge and perspective are valuable. If your work involves teaching, counseling, or sharing specialized expertise, Jupiter in the 10th house will amplify your influence and success. Even if you are not in a traditionally educational role, you may find yourself informally guiding or inspiring others in your workplace. Embracing this role as a teacher or mentor can help you make the most of Jupiter's blessings. With Jupiter in Cancer, its 5th aspect on Scorpio energizes your 2nd house, prompting learning about finances, values, and family responsibilities. You may explore new ways to grow wealth or strengthen family ties. The 7th aspect on Capricorn, your 4th house, emphasizes sharing wisdom within the home or through property-related decisions. The 9th aspect on Pisces, your 6th house, inspires higher understanding in work, health, and service, possibly leading you to mentor others or improve wellness routines. This transit invites you to expand your material stability and inner peace while using your knowledge to serve and uplift your environment. Jupiter's connection to your third house suggests that developing new skills or improving communication abilities will directly enhance your career prospects. Pursuing additional education, certifications, or training now can yield long-term benefits. This is an excellent time to invest in your intellectual growth, as the knowledge you gain will not only expand your career opportunities but also solidify your position as an expert in your field. Similarly, networking and building relationships through communication channels, whether social media, professional groups, or community events, can bring unexpected opportunities. The influence of your 6th house ruler in the 10th suggests that this is also a time when effort and discipline are critical. The 6th house relates to service, routine, and competition, which means that even as Jupiter brings rewards, you must remain diligent in your work ethic and careful with daily tasks. Challenges or disagreements with authority figures may occur, especially if old structures are being reshaped or if you are advocating for change. Jupiter's exaltation ensures that even these conflicts can ultimately benefit you, teaching you diplomacy and resilience while possibly leading to outcomes that favor your long-term growth. Financially, this transit is supportive. Money earned through your career can increase, and you may also find that your professional reputation leads to secondary sources of income, such as consulting, speaking engagements, or freelance work. This is a period when your public image and reliability can attract clients, investors, or collaborators. Jupiter's expansive energy can sometimes lead to overconfidence or taking on too many commitments. Staying grounded and managing your time effectively will help you avoid burnout or overextension. Relationships with authority figures, including your father or mentors, can play a significant role now. Gains, guidance, or support from these figures are possible. At the same time, because Jupiter rules your 6th house of health and competition, you should remain aware of potential disagreements or differing viewpoints. Even if tensions arise, Jupiter's wisdom can help you handle situations diplomatically, turning potential conflicts into opportunities for understanding and mutual respect. It's also important to be mindful of your father's well-being, as this transit can sometimes indicate a need for attention to his health. On a personal development level, Jupiter in your 10th house calls you to align your career with your values. This is not merely a time for chasing status or material rewards. It's an opportunity to pursue work that feels meaningful and connected to your purpose. You may begin to question whether your current path truly reflects your aspirations. If it doesn't, Jupiter can bring the clarity and courage to pursue a new direction, one that resonates more deeply with your sense of fulfillment. Your visibility during this period can also influence your relationships and community. As you gain recognition, your influence expands, and others may look to you for guidance or inspiration. Using your growing platform responsibly and ethically will ensure that Jupiter's blessings continue to flow. Public speaking, publishing, or sharing your expertise with a wider audience could be especially successful now. This transit also hints at potential relocation or changes in your workplace environment. Promotions, transfers, or new opportunities may require moving to a different city or adapting to new professional settings. While such changes can feel daunting, they are likely to be steps toward long-term success and stability. Being open to these shifts will help you make the most of Jupiter's expansive energy. Ultimately, Jupiter in your 10th house is not just about climbing the career ladder. It is about embodying the role of a wise and ethical leader, someone who inspires others and contributes meaningfully to the world. By remaining humble and focused on service, you will not only expand your professional achievements, but also strengthen your reputation as a trusted and respected figure. As Jupiter prepares you for greater responsibility and influence, it also reminds you that true success comes when your external accomplishments reflect your values and integrity. For Scorpio, Jupiter's exalted transit in Cancer through your 9th house will be one of the most spiritually enriching and intellectually stimulating periods of recent years. Jupiter, as the ruler of your 2nd house of accumulated wealth and values and your 5th house of creativity, intelligence, and romance, is powerfully positioned in the 9th house of higher learning, religion, philosophy, long-distance travel, and the search for truth. This combination brings together your values, your creative intelligence, and your higher principles in a way that can open your mind, expand your worldview, and set you on a path of profound personal growth. The exaltation of Jupiter in Cancer gives this transit a deeply nurturing quality, suggesting that the knowledge and experiences you gain now will not only be expansive but also emotionally fulfilling and stabilizing. This is a time when you may feel an intense pull toward higher education or advanced studies. Whether you are returning to school, enrolling in a certification program, or simply diving deeply into self-study, the intellectual pursuits you choose now can profoundly influence your future. The knowledge you acquire during this period is not just theoretical. It has the potential to reshape your career trajectory and financial prospects. Jupiter's rulership of your second house indicates that what you learn now will eventually translate into material security or income growth. If your work involves education, publishing, writing, or philosophy, this transit can bring recognition or opportunities to share your wisdom with others. Jupiter in Cancer aspects your first house, encouraging self-discovery and learning about personal growth. You may feel drawn to study subjects that deepen your self-awareness and spiritual path. Its seventh aspect on Capricorn, your third house, supports sharing your knowledge through communication, teaching, or media. The ninth aspect on Pisces, your fifth house, expands creativity, romance, and joy, possibly involving higher education or teaching in artistic fields. This is a period to step into your power, express your wisdom boldly, and embrace new opportunities that inspire both your heart and intellectual curiosity. Long-distance travel and pilgrimages are strongly indicated during this transit. The ninth house governs journeys to faraway places, especially those that broaden your horizons or have a spiritual purpose. You may be inspired to visit sacred sites, meet people from vastly different cultural backgrounds, or participate in retreats and workshops abroad. These experiences will not only enrich your soul but also shape your worldview and influence your future decisions. Meeting people from different cultures or belief systems can also spark romantic connections or friendships, particularly those that challenge your usual patterns and encourage growth. The ninth house is also 12th from the 10th, which introduces a layer of complexity. This position suggests that, while Jupiter is blessing your pursuit of knowledge and wisdom, there may be a sense of loss or detachment when it comes to your career or authority figures. You might feel that your current professional path is misaligned with your evolving values, or you may encounter challenges with superiors or mentors at work. Disagreements with authority figures, especially regarding ethics, beliefs, or approaches to work, could surface. This is not necessarily a negative outcome. It may be a necessary step in redirecting your path towards something more meaningful and aligned with your true purpose. Still, patience and diplomacy are essential, as conflicts over beliefs or approaches could otherwise become unnecessary battles. Tensions with your father or other paternal figures may also be possible. Differences in philosophy, lifestyle, or expectations can create temporary strain. Yet, Jupiter's benefic nature suggests that these challenges can ultimately lead to greater understanding and maturity if approached with humility and openness. Remember that Jupiter teaches through experience, even when those lessons come in the form of disagreements or setbacks. Career-wise, those in traditional job setups may experience instability or dissatisfaction during this transit. You might feel the urge to step away from environments where your values no longer align or where your potential is not fully appreciated. Rather than seeing this as purely negative, consider it as Jupiter's way of urging you towards something more meaningful, perhaps a role that allows greater independence or a shift toward entrepreneurship. The possibility of starting a home-based business, particularly one related to teaching, coaching, or knowledge sharing, is strong. This could be an ideal time to lay the groundwork for such an endeavor, as Jupiter in Cancer supports nurturing others through wisdom and guidance. Romantically, this transit can bring relationships with individuals from different cultures, belief systems, or distant places. These connections may challenge your preconceived notions and encourage you to grow emotionally and spiritually. For those already in a relationship, this is a period where shared learning or travel can strengthen your bond. Differing worldviews could also create tension if either partner becomes rigid or dogmatic. Jupiter's exaltation offers the wisdom to remain open-minded and tolerant, which will be key to maintaining harmony. Your creative intelligence, represented by Jupiter's rulership of your fifth house, is also expanded during this transit. You may feel inspired to express your philosophical or spiritual insights through writing, teaching, or the arts. This is an excellent time to publish a book, start a blog, or create content that shares your evolving beliefs with the world. Children may also play a significant role now, either through teaching them or learning profound lessons from them. Your interactions with younger people could inspire fresh perspectives and reinforce your understanding of the values you hold dear. Financially, the ninth house transit of the second lord suggests gains through knowledge-based activities. What you learn or teach now can translate into future income streams. Because of the 12th from 10th dynamic, there may be short-term uncertainty regarding your career earnings or professional direction. Trust that Jupiter is guiding you toward a path that will be more stable and rewarding in the long run. One caution during this transit is to avoid becoming overly rigid or dogmatic about your beliefs. While your enthusiasm for your newfound philosophies may be high, remember that Jupiter's wisdom is inclusive and compassionate. Engaging in debates or conflicts over religion, politics, or ethics can lead to unnecessary friction. Instead, embody Jupiter's higher qualities: tolerance, generosity, and the willingness to learn from others. By doing so, you will attract respect and opportunities rather than alienation. Overall, Jupiter's exalted transit in your 9th house offers a profound invitation to grow in wisdom, spirituality, and perspective. While there may be temporary challenges in career or authority relationships, these are ultimately designed to guide you toward a path that is more authentic and fulfilling. Embrace learning, travel, and mentorship with an open heart. The knowledge and experiences you gather now will not only expand your horizons but will also provide the foundation for long-term success and contentment. For Sagittarius, Jupiter's exalted transit through Cancer in your 8th house is a deeply transformative phase that can reshape many areas of your life. Jupiter, your 1st house ruler and also the ruler of your 4th house of emotional foundations, home, and inner stability, is moving through a house associated with rebirth, sudden changes, mysteries, and deep psychological processes. This combination suggests that the year ahead will not be about superficial shifts, but rather profound internal and external transformations that can redefine your outlook, relationships, and life direction. The 8th house is often described as the area of hidden matters, occult knowledge, joint resources, shared wealth, karmic debts, and spiritual rebirth. Jupiter's expansion here means that the very structures of your life may be tested, dismantled, and rebuilt in ways that ultimately empower and liberate you. One of the clearest themes of this transit is your potential draw toward the hidden sciences, mystical traditions, or deeper esoteric studies. You might find yourself fascinated by astrology or spiritual philosophies that go beyond conventional religion. This is not mere curiosity. Jupiter's wisdom suggests that your exploration of these subjects will allow you to serve others through knowledge. Your insights into life's mysteries could become a guiding light for people in crisis or transformation. Those interested in healing modalities, psychological counseling, or financial strategy, such as investments, wealth management, or research in the stock market, will find that studying these areas now can become an important part of their future service or career path. The 8th house also governs other people's resources, inheritances, and joint finances. During this transit, you may benefit through shared wealth or receive financial blessings from family or a partner. There could be gains through inheritance or through your spouse's or partner's financial situation. Jupiter's presence here also teaches responsibility with such matters. Expansion in joint finances could also lead to overextension or high expectations if not managed wisely. Be cautious with investments or speculative ventures, even though opportunities may appear promising. Jupiter's exalted state suggests positive long-term outcomes, but patience and prudence are essential for navigating short-term fluctuations. Relationships will be an important focus, though not without their challenges. Jupiter in the 8th can heighten expectations around intimacy and shared vulnerability, which may cause dissatisfaction if partners are not on the same emotional or spiritual wavelength. You may feel a need for a deeper, more soulful connection, and this could put pressure on relationships that are more superficial or transactional. This period tests the strength of bonds. Those that are genuine and rooted in mutual growth can deepen, while weaker or outdated connections may dissolve. Romantic encounters can also have a faded quality, potentially bringing someone into your life who transforms your emotional world. Career and life path are also in flux. The 8th house is known for bringing upheavals that force you to confront your fears and adapt to new realities. You may experience a sudden shift in your professional environment, prompting you to change careers, take up new responsibilities, or reorient your ambitions altogether. While such changes can initially feel unsettling, Jupiter's beneficence ensures that these shifts are ultimately for your growth and benefit. Many Sagittarius individuals may discover that their professional calling lies in helping others through transformation, whether through teaching, healing, financial advising, or working with research-based or investigative fields. Health and well-being require attention under this transit. The 8th house is traditionally associated with accidents, surgeries, and chronic conditions. While Jupiter's exalted state offers protection, it is wise to exercise caution when driving, traveling, or engaging in physically demanding activities. Preventive health care, regular checkups, and mindfulness about stress will go a long way in avoiding unnecessary complications. This is also a time to address any lingering health concerns you may have ignored previously. Jupiter's energy here can help you find the right healers or treatments. The 8th house is also tied to emotional and psychological rebirth. You may find yourself confronting fears, insecurities, or old traumas that have lingered beneath the surface. Jupiter's nurturing presence in Cancer provides a safe and supportive environment for healing. This is an excellent time to engage in therapy, counseling, or spiritual practices that help you release old baggage and embrace a more empowered version of yourself. Mystical experiences, such as vivid dreams or intuitive insights, may become more frequent, signaling that your higher self is guiding you through these changes. Family dynamics and matters related to home may also be impacted. As the ruler of your 4th house, Jupiter connects these themes to the transformations of the 8th. You may experience shifts in your living situation, perhaps related to inheritance, shared property, or a need to relocate after a major life event. These changes can be emotionally charged but are ultimately meant to align your external circumstances with your inner growth. This could also be a period where you become more involved in understanding your ancestral lineage or family secrets, perhaps uncovering stories or truths that give you a deeper understanding of your roots. Financially, while this can be a time of gains through shared resources, it is equally a period that encourages responsible management of debts, taxes, and other obligations. Avoid impulsive financial moves, even if opportunities appear abundant. Instead, use Jupiter's wisdom to research thoroughly, seek expert advice, and plan for the long term. This transit can be particularly favorable for those working in banking, insurance, tax consultancy, or industries that deal with other people's money or assets. From Cancer, Jupiter's 5th aspect on Scorpio influences your 12th house, prompting introspection, spiritual study, and healing of subconscious patterns. Its 7th aspect on Capricorn, your 2nd house, encourages discussions and learning around finances, values, and family stability. The 9th aspect on Pisces, your 4th house, expands emotional depth, home-related blessings, and spiritual practices within your domestic environment. You may be inspired to make your home a sanctuary or explore foreign philosophies. This period calls for releasing old baggage, nurturing your inner world, and building a stable foundation that supports both your material and spiritual aspirations for the future. Overall, Jupiter's transit through Cancer in your 8th house is a powerful invitation to evolve. While there may be moments of instability or unexpected change, the ultimate trajectory is toward empowerment, wisdom, and a deeper sense of purpose. By embracing the unknown and trusting the process, you can emerge from this period stronger, wiser, and more attuned to your life's true calling. The transformations you experience now may seem intense in the moment, but they are preparing you for a brighter and more meaningful future, where your values, relationships, and work align more closely with your soul's path. For Capricorn, Jupiter's exalted transit through Cancer in your 7th house is a major turning point in your relationships, partnerships, and public image. As the ruler of your 12th house of spirituality, foreign lands, and subconscious patterns, as well as your 3rd house of communication, courage, and entrepreneurial efforts, Jupiter brings expansive energy to your interactions with others. The 7th house represents marriage, long-term partnerships, business alliances, and your visibility in the world. When Jupiter, the planet of wisdom, growth, and blessings, moves through this part of your chart, it tends to open doors for significant collaborations, meaningful relationships, and opportunities that expand your influence. This transit can mark a period where relationships take focus in your life. If you are single, this could be a time when you attract someone with whom you share deep understanding, mutual respect, and shared values. Jupiter's influence often brings partners who act as teachers, guides, or catalysts for growth, so any relationship that begins now is likely to be significant in your personal development. If you are already in a committed relationship, this is a time for strengthening the bond, resolving old differences, and working together toward shared goals. Because Jupiter magnifies whatever it touches, it may also bring to light areas of tension or imbalance that need to be addressed. Instead of resisting these revelations, use them as opportunities to build a stronger foundation. In terms of business, this is one of the most favorable periods for forming partnerships or launching collaborative ventures. The 7th house governs agreements and joint efforts, and Jupiter's exaltation ensures that opportunities for growth and prosperity can arise through cooperative endeavors. You may consider starting a business with your spouse, a friend, or a trusted partner. Ventures related to knowledge sharing, such as teaching, consulting, mentoring, or counseling, are especially favored. Your ability to communicate effectively, represented by Jupiter's rulership of your 3rd house, will play a key role in attracting clients, collaborators, and audiences. You may also find that your public reputation grows during this period, as people see you as a wise advisor, a guide, or someone who has valuable insights to offer. This transit can also enhance your public visibility and influence. The 7th house is not just about one-to-one relationships, but also about how you interact with the wider world. Jupiter here can elevate your profile, perhaps bringing recognition for your skills, ethics, or leadership. You may find yourself sought after for advice or guidance, or your work may reach a larger audience than before. For those involved in law, diplomacy, counseling, or any field that requires negotiation and partnership, this transit can bring particularly rewarding opportunities. On a personal level, Jupiter's expansive nature in the house of partnerships can make you more open-minded and generous in your interactions. You may become more willing to compromise and accommodate others, which can improve your relationships across the board. Be mindful of overextending yourself or giving too much in an effort to please others. Jupiter's exalted state suggests that generosity will be rewarded, but maintaining healthy boundaries will ensure long-term harmony. Because Jupiter also rules your 12th house, this transit may connect relationships and partnerships with themes of spirituality, foreign lands, and hidden aspects of the self. You might meet a partner from a distant country or of a different cultural background, or you may find that relationships now serve as a spiritual mirror, revealing subconscious patterns that need healing. There is also a possibility of foreign travel or relocation connected to your partner or business alliances. This connection to the 12th house also suggests that acts of compassion, forgiveness, and selflessness can bring blessings in your personal and professional partnerships. Financially, partnerships formed under this transit can be lucrative, but caution is advised. Jupiter's expansive influence can sometimes encourage overconfidence or risk-taking. While the potential for wealth generation is high, especially through business ventures or collaborative projects, it is important to ensure that agreements are fair and transparent. Take the time to communicate clearly, define roles and responsibilities, and seek legal or professional advice if needed. The influence of Jupiter as your 3rd house ruler also highlights the importance of communication, learning, and courage in your partnerships. You may feel inspired to share your ideas more widely or to learn new skills that support your career or business endeavors. Writing, public speaking, teaching, or launching a platform for sharing your knowledge could all be productive ways to harness this energy. This is also an excellent time to cultivate relationships with mentors, advisors, or networks that can help you grow. On the home front, Jupiter's connection between your 12th and 7th houses can also bring healing or closure in family or past relationship matters. Old conflicts or unresolved issues may now find resolution, allowing you to move forward with a sense of peace. You might also feel drawn to spiritual practices or retreats with your partner, or you may find that shared philosophical or religious interests bring you closer together. Health and well-being should not be ignored during this period, particularly because Jupiter rules your 12th house of hospitals and hidden matters. While this is generally a protective transit, the 7th house connection suggests that you should be attentive to your partner's health or shared health responsibilities. Jupiter's expansive energy can sometimes manifest as overindulgence, so moderation in lifestyle choices will help maintain balance. This transit also carries the potential for legal matters, contracts, or negotiations to arise. Jupiter's benefic influence means that outcomes are likely to be favorable if you approach these situations with integrity and wisdom. Avoid rushing into agreements simply because opportunities look appealing. Take the time to assess whether these align with your long-term goals. Jupiter in Cancer casts its 5th aspect on Scorpio, your 11th house, encouraging you to learn through friendships, networks, and community efforts. The 7th aspect on Capricorn, your sign, highlights self-awareness and sharing wisdom directly through your presence and actions. The 9th aspect on Pisces, your 3rd house, expands intellectual pursuits, travel, and communication skills. Writing, teaching, or learning new skills can be highly rewarding. This transit invites you to cultivate meaningful connections, embrace leadership roles, and use your growing knowledge to inspire others while building networks that support your long-term dreams and spiritual understanding. By the time Jupiter completes its transit through your 7th house, you are likely to find that your approach to relationships and partnerships has evolved significantly. You may have forged new alliances, deepened existing bonds, and gained a clearer understanding of what you seek from others and what you can offer in return. This is a period for embracing cooperation, generosity, and mutual respect. By nurturing your connections and sharing your wisdom, you can create partnerships, romantic, professional, or social, that bring lasting growth, prosperity, and joy. For Aquarius, Jupiter's exalted transit through Cancer in your 6th house represents a significant phase where daily routines, work obligations, health matters, and challenges in relationships demand your focus and effort. As the ruler of your 11th house of gains, networks, and ambitions, and your 2nd house of wealth, speech, and family values, Jupiter brings its expansive energy into a part of your chart associated with discipline, service, and overcoming obstacles. This is not a time of effortless rewards. It is a period that asks for consistent effort, humility, and adaptability. Because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, The ultimate outcomes of the struggles you encounter during this transit are likely to be deeply beneficial and rewarding. During this time, your attention will shift from romantic or partnership-oriented matters to the practical realities of daily work life. The 6th house governs your routines, coworkers, and the environment where you put in your daily effort. Jupiter here can bring growth and expansion in your workplace or profession. You may be entrusted with more responsibilities, see new opportunities for advancement, or gain recognition for your knowledge and skills. At first, these opportunities may feel overwhelming, as Jupiter magnifies the workload along with the rewards. But with persistence and the willingness to learn, you can emerge from this transit with stronger professional credibility and improved earning potential. Jupiter in the 6th also brings to light conflicts, disputes, and challenges, particularly those that require negotiation or problem solving. You might find yourself facing disagreements with colleagues, clients, or superiors. Relationship dynamics, both personal and professional, could feel strained, as the 6th house often tests your patience and diplomacy. This is not the most favorable period for beginning a new romantic relationship, as the demands of work and personal growth may make it difficult to nurture emotional bonds. For those already in relationships, misunderstandings or disagreements may arise, sometimes due to external pressures like work-related travel or financial responsibilities. The key is to remain flexible, lower expectations, and approach conflicts with understanding rather than defensiveness. The 6th house is also connected with debts, loans, and litigation. Jupiter's transit here can bring situations where you need to handle financial obligations, borrow money for a significant purpose, or resolve legal disputes. While this may seem stressful initially, Jupiter's benefic nature suggests that outcomes can ultimately work in your favor, especially if you act with integrity, seek proper guidance, and avoid impulsive decisions. Be proactive in managing your finances, budgeting wisely, and addressing any outstanding obligations before they become burdensome. This is also an excellent time to seek expert advice on financial or legal matters, as Jupiter rewards the pursuit of knowledge and wise counsel. Health and well-being are another critical area during this transit. The 6th house governs physical health and illnesses, and Jupiter's expansive influence here can sometimes lead to overindulgence, weight gain, or neglect of basic self-care. You may need to pay closer attention to your diet, exercise, and stress levels. Any minor health concerns should be addressed promptly rather than ignored. On a more positive note, Jupiter's exaltation indicates that with the right lifestyle adjustments and preventive measures, you can improve your overall health significantly during this period. Some Aquarians may also feel drawn to study or practice healing arts, medicine, or holistic wellness as a way to serve others and deepen their own understanding of health. Jupiter's rulership of your 11th and 2nd houses suggests that even though this transit may feel demanding, it is ultimately connected to your long-term goals for wealth, stability, and achievement. The 11th house influence means that your ambitions and gains may now depend on the effort you put into your work environment and the relationships you cultivate there. The 2nd house connection suggests that managing your speech and values carefully will help you navigate disputes and build trust with others. This is a time when patience, integrity, and clear communication can open doors for financial and professional growth that may not be immediately visible. There is also a strong element of service inherent in this transit. The 6th house is traditionally associated with serving others, whether through your profession, volunteering, or offering guidance in times of difficulty. You may find yourself drawn to helping people in medical, legal, or administrative matters, using your knowledge to resolve their issues. This can be particularly fulfilling and can also enhance your reputation as someone reliable and wise. Jupiter's exaltation makes this an especially potent time to use your skills and wisdom for the benefit of others. Travel could play an indirect role in this transit, particularly for work or training purposes. You may be required to travel or relocate temporarily for your job, which could create some distance between you and your spouse or loved ones. While this separation may feel challenging, it can also serve as an opportunity for personal growth and a reminder of the importance of balancing personal and professional responsibilities. Educational pursuits are favored now, especially those related to 6th house themes such as law, medicine, workplace dynamics, or any specialized training that can improve your career prospects. Jupiter rewards study and learning, so enrolling in a course or workshop could provide valuable knowledge that strengthens your long-term success. While this transit is not always easy on relationships, it offers a unique opportunity for maturity and growth in how you handle them. You are learning to balance personal needs with service to others, to navigate conflicts with wisdom rather than ego, and to find strength in discipline and routine. By maintaining realistic expectations in your personal life and avoiding unnecessary arguments, you can prevent conflicts from escalating and preserve harmony. From Cancer, Jupiter's fifth aspect on Scorpio energizes your 10th house, prompting learning and growth in career and public life. Its seventh aspect on Capricorn, your 12th house, encourages sharing knowledge through spiritual service or behind-the-scenes efforts. The ninth aspect on Pisces, your second house, expands values, wealth, and family matters, possibly inspiring you to align your financial goals with higher principles. This period favors professional development, discreet guidance to others, and cultivating financial wisdom. Growth will come when you balance worldly ambitions with spiritual pursuits, ensuring that your public efforts align with your deeper values and life purpose. By the end of this transit, many of the difficulties or conflicts you encounter will have turned into stepping stones for growth. You may emerge with a stronger sense of discipline, improved health habits, more stable finances, and a clearer understanding of what it takes to achieve your long-term goals. While Jupiter's journey through the sixth house may feel like hard work, its exalted position ensures that your efforts will not be in vain. The challenges you overcome now will position you for greater success and recognition when Jupiter moves into Leo and begins to expand your seventh house of relationships and partnerships. For Pisces, Jupiter's exalted transit through Cancer in your fifth house marks a period of growth, joy, and important transitions. As the natural benefic ruling your 10th house of career and public recognition and your first house of self and identity, Jupiter's energy becomes highly personal during this time. It influences both how you see yourself and how you navigate your professional path. The fifth house governs education, romance, children, creativity, speculation, and self-expression. With Jupiter exalted here, you may feel inspired to open your heart, expand your mind, and pursue passions that have long been waiting for your attention. This transit brings opportunities for fulfillment, but also introduces changes and instabilities that can reshape your outlook and ambitions. One of the most prominent themes will be romance and relationships. You may feel a stronger desire to connect emotionally and romantically, and because Cancer is a friendly and nurturing sign for Jupiter, new relationships formed now can feel warm, affectionate, and emotionally supportive. Existing partnerships can also receive a boost of passion and intimacy, as you become more expressive and generous in matters of the heart. This increase in romantic energy requires a degree of mindfulness. The fifth house can sometimes bring fluctuations or idealism in love, so it is important to remain realistic about your expectations. If you are single, this is a wonderful time to explore new connections, as Jupiter's expansive influence often brings serendipitous encounters that can evolve into meaningful relationships. Education and learning are equally highlighted. The fifth house governs not just formal education but also intellectual curiosity and creative study. Many Pisces individuals will feel a renewed interest in pursuing academic goals, enrolling in a course, or deepening their knowledge in an area of personal fascination. Jupiter's influence suggests that this is not limited to traditional subjects. You might be drawn toward creative arts, finance-related studies, or even spiritual and philosophical learning. This transit is especially favorable for those considering higher education or advanced certifications, as Jupiter's exaltation can provide both the discipline and inspiration needed to succeed. Creativity and self-expression will surge under this transit. Whether through writing, art, music, or another medium, you may feel compelled to share your ideas and talents with the world. This can also extend into entrepreneurial ventures, especially those tied to knowledge sharing, counseling, or teaching. If you have been considering starting a business or side project related to your passions, this is a highly supportive time. Jupiter's rulership of your 10th house links this creative energy directly to your career, suggesting that your professional life may benefit from, or even transform because of, your creative pursuits. The fifth house is also closely connected with children. For those who already have children, your attention may turn toward their education, well-being, and emotional development. You may spend more time guiding them, encouraging their talents, or investing in their future opportunities. For those planning to expand their families, this transit can be an auspicious period for conception or preparing for parenthood, provided your broader chart and planetary periods support it. Jupiter here magnifies your capacity for nurturing, which can bring both joy and responsibility in matters related to family and parenting. Career transformations are another important aspect of this transit. The fifth house is the eighth from the 10th, which in astrology represents transformations related to your profession and public life. You might experience changes in your career direction, authority figures in your life, or the recognition you receive in society. While such shifts can feel unsettling at times, they often open the door for more meaningful and fulfilling opportunities. If you have been feeling stuck or uninspired in your current role, Jupiter's presence here may guide you toward a new path that better aligns with your passions and long-term goals. Instability in your public image or with authority figures, including employers or governmental bodies, may occur, but with Jupiter exalted, these fluctuations ultimately work in your favor. This period can also bring changes in your father's life or situation, as the 10th house also represents fatherly figures in astrology. There might be developments in his career, health, or personal circumstances that indirectly influence you or require your involvement. While these shifts may seem challenging initially, they are likely to bring positive growth or healing in the long term. Speculative activities like investing, stock trading, or creative financial planning are also influenced by the 5th house. Jupiter's benefic energy can make this a favorable time for well-informed financial ventures, particularly those related to education, creative industries, or long-term wealth building. Exaltation does not eliminate risk entirely. Avoid impulsive decisions or gambling without proper knowledge and strategy. If you educate yourself thoroughly, this transit can help you make wise and profitable financial moves. Jupiter in Cancer aspects Scorpio, your 9th house, with its 5th aspect, inspiring higher learning, philosophical exploration, and long-distance travel. Its 7th aspect on Capricorn, your 11th house, emphasizes sharing your wisdom within communities, groups, and networks, potentially drawing influential mentors or allies. The 9th aspect on Pisces, your own sign, expands self-awareness, faith, and personal growth. You may feel inspired to embody spiritual teachings or guide others through your own example. This period encourages you to embrace new perspectives, connect with like-minded souls, and cultivate a renewed sense of purpose that shapes your long-term dreams and personal evolution. Your identity and sense of self may also evolve significantly during this time. As Jupiter rules your 1st house, its exalted position in the 5th suggests that personal growth will be tied to the pursuit of joy, learning, and creativity. You may come to see yourself in a new light, perhaps shedding old insecurities or outdated ambitions in favor of a life path that feels more authentic. This can also affect how others perceive you. Your enthusiasm, wisdom, and generosity may become more visible to those around you, strengthening your reputation as a compassionate and knowledgeable person. Fame and recognition may fluctuate during this period, as the 5th house can sometimes create waves in how you are perceived publicly. This does not mean a loss of respect, but rather an ongoing adjustment process as you integrate new skills or shift directions in your career or creative life. Embrace these changes as part of a larger growth process rather than resisting them. Overall, Jupiter's transit through your 5th house in Cancer offers a remarkable opportunity for expansion on multiple levels: romantically, intellectually, creatively, and spiritually. While some instability in career or recognition may arise, these challenges are stepping stones toward greater alignment with your true purpose. By staying open to learning, embracing your creative instincts, and nurturing the relationships and projects that matter most to you, you can make the most of this auspicious period. Jupiter exalted in Cancer does not merely bring fleeting happiness, it plants seeds for long-term fulfillment, wisdom, and joy. As we conclude this episode, please keep in mind that these insights are based on the Sidereal Zodiac system used in Vedic Astrology, which differs from the tropical system by approximately 24 degrees. These are general predictions, and outcomes will vary depending on your individual birth chart. The influence of transits is deeply shaped by your ongoing dasha periods and the specific placement of planets in your natal chart. What may be a time of progress for one person could mark a period of reflection or challenge for another. This is why it's essential to interpret transits within the context of your unique chart. If you're seeking a more personalized understanding of how current transits may impact you, or if you have specific questions about your birth chart, feel free to reach out to us. If you found this content helpful, please consider liking the video, sharing it with others who may benefit, and subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates. Thank you for watching. We look forward to continuing to share deeper astrological insights with you. Until next time, stay aware, keep learning, and keep shining bright.